All right, good morning, everybody. Tesla, you son of a... You got me today. You got me today, Tesla. Gonna break down the loser. I think my biggest loser of the year. Pretty sure it's my biggest loser of the year in this video. One other trade after that. So, if you guys enjoy these videos, if you enjoy seeing me lose, make sure you pound that like button, hit that subscribe. Let's go, let's trade. Okay, so the first trade was here on Tesla, and I was watching it here as it made this big dip off the highs. And we had started with a basically move up in the market this morning. So once we dipped down into the support region, I decided to could be a potential area where we see a decent little bounce here. So I'm in long 100 shares, 197.76, thinking we can easily get a bounce back up towards the VWAP area, and that'd be a nice little win there on a long here on Tesla. But it does still have some room down to the actual lows of the day, which it starts making here. So as we start pushing down here towards the lows of the day, this is where I'm going to start looking for my ad here on Tesla. If we get below 197, I want to see a nice little push below 197 to go ahead and get my ad. Didn't get really any pullback at all from my initial entry, which is fine. All part of the plan, but we'll see what it does here at 197. So there's a big move under 197, right to the lows of the day. I add in there. I now have 200 shares long here on Tesla at 197.34. So actually feeling pretty good about this trade in the moment. Feeling like I got a great chance for a bounce back up to 198, above 198, but market just keeps bleeding out a little bit. So coming towards my final ad spot here as we're pushing under 196. And this is where I kind of ran into an issue. You see I clicked the button there to get filled another 200 shares and it rejects me for buying power. Apparently there's a margin restriction on Tesla in IB, which I was unaware of. So didn't get that 200 shares there. I do add in 100 shares, so I was able to do 100. And then I was like, okay, maybe there's just some kind of error went through. So I try another 100, it doesn't work. And then try 50, and that will work. So I apparently could long 350 shares of Tesla, but not 400. So it's about 50% margin or so instead of the regular what you get. So that was a little annoying. And had this really bounced back at all, could have made it harder to make some money. It cost me some money. In this instance, it didn't really bounce back enough. And I do at least the right thing, and I put my stop down here at the low of the days once I get my 112 in here on Tesla. It was fooling with me for a second. I was like, is it going to bounce here right off of the low and then maybe give me that rebound, give me a chance to get out of this one? I was hopeful, but unfortunately, as you can guess by the title of this video, that did not happen here on Tesla. So I did have my stop in here. Didn't want to give it the 195 because I thought if it got under 195, it could really give a fast flush. So I go ahead and get stopped out all there prior to that 195 flush, and then it does make a big move under it from there. So, at least I stuck to the stop, and it's well within my risk parameters there on the loss. A little bit later in the morning, it's CVRX starting to make a move here up, and you can see it's kind of made a big move up here from where the VWAP was, kind of broke out there from the 850 areas, and now we're pushing up into the 940. So, that's a really big move on a $9 stock. I'm going to go ahead and get started it here with 300 shares short. I get in at 944. And I'll be looking for a move up through the 960s if I can get a spot for an adding here. Otherwise, below 920 will be where I start looking to take some profits. So, really on this one was willing to work off of the $10 mark. I was kind of thinking on the ads here and the sizing and all that. So that's kind of where I was at, and you can see it start to move through the 960s there. It gets through for a second. I'm like, oh, and then it pops up to 970 real quick, so I put my 300 shares out there at 970. I get filled there for 300 more at 970. Now I have 600 shares short at 957, and then if it's going to give me the final opportunity for my last ad, that's going to be up just under 10. So I want through at least 990 here if it can get up through that area. That'll be for 600 shares, which would then get me up to 1,200 total. And it pops up there pretty quick. 995. I go ahead and get another 600 in there. Now I have 1,200 shares short at 974. And look at this. Boom. Starts pulling back hard off of that $10 mark. Gets under 950. I click the 75% button. So just like that, I am out 900 of my shares. I've locked in $200 worth of profit. Now we'll see if I can get this remaining 300 shares to bleed out a little bit, make me some more of my money back from that Tesla loss earlier. So, happy with how this one's going overall. Finally got one of these ones to work for me where I get in the bigger size, and then that's where I can make the bigger money. Unfortunately, today I was making back money from the Tesla one that did not work out, but I didn't stick with Tesla and keep fighting it, and that's why I was able to stay alive and keep trading on this one today. So it comes down under 940 here. I go ahead and take another half off, which is 150 shares. I have locked in 265, and now I have 150 shares left short, and I'm going to see if I can bleed these out a little bit further and look to partial this out a little bit as we go. So we do start coming down here. Well, it gets under 920. I click the half or the cover 50% button again. So out another 75 shares, now up over $300 locked in here, and down to 75 shares left total. See if we can get those down towards 9 further. And I'm even thinking about partialing this out into a 50 and a 25 piece. So I'm looking to get 50 out here if we can make a nice move under 910. There was some support here at 910 that it kept bouncing off of a little bit. So waiting to see if we can get under 910 to take 50 more shares off here on CVRX. So just kind of waiting and watching. The ask was coming down nicely with size, so I felt like it was going to make a move under the 910 here pretty easily. You could see the ask versus the bid there on the level 2 stacking up, coming down, and there's the move under 910. I click the button, get the fill at 906, and I'm down to 25 shares. I did have a stop out over the recent highs on that 75 in case it popped back up. I'm going to reset that stop. And then I decided to trail the stop down a little bit from there. And unfortunately, it's going to come up here and stop me out the rest on that move up right there. And it did continue down from here. So maybe I should have just left the stop where I had it. But all out of CVRX now for a $350 gain, which makes back a good chunk of that loss in Tesla. So can't complain about that. So overall, red day down 175, but like I said, on Tesla, it was well within my risk parameters. I can actually afford to lose much more than that. Not that I want to, but I can. A little annoying with the buying power issue there on Tesla. I didn't know that that was a thing in IB with Tesla, so I'll have to keep that in mind on the future. But a pretty decent trade there in CVRX to make a good bit of it back. So that's officially going to put me red about $60 on the week. I did have 2 little trades yesterday afternoon for like $30 that put me to, I think, 115 on the day. I didn't post it because it was so small. So I'm going to be red like $60 now on the week with 2 days left to go. Might be doing the live stream tomorrow on Thursday. It'll either be Thursday or Friday this week, and I'm not really going to make a post about it. I'm just gonna put it up and go live at 9:20 either tomorrow or Friday. So hopefully you guys joined me for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. The red day videos always get the most views, so hopefully you hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you later.